Cory Lopez and Kelly Slater. The answer to that question in 30 minutes from now as the horn blows. Dino, as the horrible saying goes, it's on like Donkey Kong, buddy.
Well, there you go. We have the 7-time world champion in the water at the moment with Cory Lopez, two pretty close friends, both from Florida, the east coast of America. And, you know, Cory's a very tricky surfer in these type of conditions. Very exciting and unpredictable at the same time. You know, and obviously we all know about Kelly Slater, what he can do, but this is a very pivotal heat in the world title race for Kelly Slater. And, you know, as we open this heat up with, you know, tide rushing out at the speed it is, I think during this heat we're going to see the, oh, there you go, Kelly Slater up and riding, getting barreled, and just hacking the lip on that thing. Man, Kelly Slater, where did he find that wave?
That's a good question, Dino. That's, once again, the tidal swings here just causing waves to just come to life out of nowhere. Kelly's sitting in what had been the paddling channel in the last couple heats and has just found a filthy right-hand pit to start it off. So this peak that we've been looking at earlier, where we set over that kind of rocky section in the middle that can offer up some little barrels depending on the tide, well, either Kelly was listening to us, getting some tips on how the lineup works, which I highly doubt, or we were ticking him off a little bit, talking about people that could potentially beat him at this event. One or the other, something motivated Kelly, and judges' scores coming in now. This could very possibly be the highest or second highest wave score of the day to start things off for our 7-time world champ. Just reminding everyone, who is the boss out here, Mr. Kelly Slater? 2 points. Cory Lopez. Sorry, go ahead, Dino.
You got to think, I mean, that was a completely different spot than anybody surfed all day. And once again, there's that barrel from Kelly Slater. I mean, where did this wave come from? I mean, it's on a completely different sandbar. And, you know, Kelly Slater is obviously, look at that big hack on the open face as he rounds that bottom turn. Nice bump pop off the foam there. You know, I mean, as you can see right here, he rocks up off the lip there. You know, never really unloading on the turns, but nonetheless, nice open face carbon coming unglued and slipping on that last turn. But nonetheless, great opening ride for Kelly Slater as he finds a completely different sandbar, and it goes to show how tuned he is at the moment. I mean, from what I've been hearing, he's been surfing every day in France, and you know, it's scary when Kelly starts practicing a lot, because then you know he's got his antenna out and he's looking and searching, and when that happens, it's pretty serious for all his, you know, fellow competitors.
Well, it's kind of like Tiger Woods, actually. You know, earlier this year, and Kelly was saying earlier in the season, last couple events, he hasn't really felt like he's completely been able to get his groove on when he needs it. And but hey, in this heat, I don't know what he's changed, you know, but men's round 4, heat number 4, the Billabong Pro Mundaka could be the turning point and the point at which Kelly just decides to slam the door shut on everyone else in the race for world title number 8. If he keeps surfing like that, watch out, everyone else. And an 8.5, interesting to note as well, Kelly's highest single wave score of the event so far. Hadn't managed anything over an 8 out at Mundaka. So,
well, I think that wave, you know, had a ton of opportunity. You know, obviously Kelly surfed it really good, but I think that wave was just amazing that he picked that wave off in these conditions.
Here's Cory on screen.
Well, there you go. Damn. Big snap off the top as the fellow Floridian comes unstuck there, getting caught behind the lip on that one. But nonetheless, Cory Lopez going for broke on that off the top, out the back there. But getting back to the point, I mean, that wave was just, the scoring potential was through the roof on that wave, Dave, as Kelly Slater finding a completely different sandbar than everybody else, you know, opting to be on the left-hand side of the channel, whereas everybody else throughout these first heats of the day have surfed on the right-hand side of the channel. As you can see on our screen there, to the left-hand side of the screen is that area where there's no whitewater. And for all you spectators online, Kelly Slater chose to surf on the left-hand side of that blue area. as you can see a shot of him waiting in the lineup. But, man, he really dissected the lineup before he paddled out, didn't he, Dave?
Yes, he did, and that's why he is currently ranked first in the world and has won the world title 7 times. There he is, Mr. Kelly Slater, and having a little look at that one, deciding against it. Once again, Kelly Slater, an 8.5 on his opening exchange in this one. Cory Lopez out the back with a 2-0 and a 1-0. Looked like he had some potential on his last wave and just kind of went down on that front side lip slide off the top.
As you can see, a shot of Tommy Whitaker, our last heat's heat winner. And I'm sure he's making all the boys proud in Bronte Beach, Australia. And another shot of the lineup here and the spectators along the shore here at Bakio Beach, where we are
currently in the water with round 4, heat 4. Slater v. Lopez just moved down from Mundaka once again, and sorry to everyone who's been watching us from the beginning of the webcast this morning, but as you know, people are on and off all day, coming in and out and asking us the same questions over and over again. So yes, we have moved to Bakio from Mundaka, which has put a little twist in things today, and here's GT with our last heat winner, Tom Whitaker, to let you know how things are here at Bakio.
Well, Mr. Tommy Witt, it'll work. Yeah, exactly. Tough conditions out there today. Me and Punch kind of a little bit lost at sea and just sort of took whatever we could get.
You know, it's always a challenge to surf against someone like Poncho when you never really know what you're going to get there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think he needed a 9.6, only a couple of small scores, but Ponch can pull that out, you know. Especially when there's a bit of power out there, he can pull it out on 2 turns. So, you know, you're never safe with Ponch.
Now, in terms of conditions out there, you mentioned power, so it doesn't look that big from the beach, but on the web, when you guys are standing up, it looks pretty thumpy.
Yeah, it is. It's thumping out there. There's a lot of sand getting churned up off the bottom, and I don't know if we were sitting on a shallow bank or where we were, but there was a couple of little punchy ones.
Now, then you get on the beach, you turn around, and Kelly gets an 8.5.
Yeah, I was up with Kelly before my heat, and we were looking at a different bank over here, and we thought it might start happening, and I guess he took it's a little bit of a gamble, you know. I'd rather sit where my other component is, and then it's just me and him versus whatever we are. And, you know, Kelly's pretty special at pulling out 5s on anything, so.
Well, the good news is, quarterfinals for you. You're not bummed on that result.
Nah, not at all. I think he goes Kelly again, so if we got Kelly or Cory, it's not going to matter. You just, whatever the waves happen.
Well, making it happen while the rest of the world's napping, Tommy Witz.
Thanks, GT.
All right, boys, back to you guys and webcast land.
Well, thanks for that, GT.
Here we are back in webcast land with Kelly Slater in wave number 3.
Well, Kelly Slater wasting no time in this heat as he unloads that second turn.
Do you know, where does he find those waves from? There was, I didn't see one wave break over there on the other side
looks
of
like
that channel
Kelly's,
before he paddled out.
Dave, looks like, sorry to interrupt you, looks like Kelly Slater, looks like he might have broke his board or wants to change his board as he's waving to maybe his board caddy and feverishly trying to make it to the inside here. Nonetheless, there is 21 minutes and 20 seconds remaining, and at the moment, Kelly Slater basically putting it to Cory Lopez with an 8.50, and we'll have to wait and see. It looks like a pretty decent score. Another score coming down, 5.67.
So Lopez now in a bit of trouble. He's comboed, needing a 14.18 2-wave total. So that Cory needs 2 waves in the 7+ range to come back on Kelly. Now it'll be interesting to see if Kelly actually, you know, buckled or snapped his board on one of those last 2 waves. If it was buckled when he surfed that last one, that's pretty good surfing for 5, 6, 7 on a buckled board. There he is. Now let's see. Could you tell there if he had a buckled board, or maybe he just wanted to change equipment? But or maybe he wanted to change. It looked like his board was working pretty good to me.
Maybe he wanted to chat to the fans. Who knows?
Here's that last wave of our 7-time world champ Kelly Slater.
Well, if you look at his body movements, they're very limber and loose as he snaps the top. Kind of a little different approach than, say, a Mick Fanning or Joel Parkinson. His arms kind of a little bit more wild on the approach there, but nonetheless, big blistering off the tops for the 7-time world champion. If you think about the way he approaches maneuvers, they're a little bit more like a la Martin Potter or say, whereas Joel Parkinson and Mick Fanning, very
more Curran-esque, perhaps.
More Curran-esque, very their arms are more at their sides and they're more twisting, whereas Kelly's just using his power and his arms kind of maybe his balancing point is through his arms more versus as the new school surfers, Mick Fanning, Joel Parkinson, Bobby Martinez are more in the middle. Their core, it seems like their center more is Kelly
as well. Kelly, it seems to be using his upper body a bit more along the lines of a Gary Elkerton. Of course, doesn't have that Elko hand jive going, but surfs more from his upper body than from his core, hips, and waist. But no matter how he does it, he gets the job done. An 8.5 on his first wave, a 5.67 on that last one. He has paddled in and switched boards. In the meantime, he's left Cory out in the lineup with priority, but Cory needing 14.18, so over 7+ on his next 2 rides to have any hope whatsoever of coming back on Kelly. 18.5 minutes remaining, still plenty of time left for Cory, but you never want to let Kelly have an 8.5 on the first wave of heat when you're surfing against them, I guess, huh, Dino?
Yeah, absolutely. He's definitely going to be putting the pressure on to put the nails in the coffin in the seat with just over 18 minutes remaining and feeling really comfortable. You can tell, he kind of just cruised in on the whitewater and, he had a few words with the fans there on the beach before he jumped back in on his new board, whatever board he changed, and there he just makes his way back into the lineup. Definitely really relaxed, you could see it in him, he seems like he's having a lot of fun and
well, it's kind of been his MO, his modus operandi for most of the year. He's already won his 7th world title. That was the title that he was looking for since he decided to come back on tour. So he figures, okay, I've done the Tom Curran, Mark Occhilupo deal. I've dropped off tour. I've come back on. I've won the next world title. Oh, Cory up and riding. Let's see what Cory's got for us.
Well, there you go. That's a little bit more what we would expect out of Cory Lopez as he does 2 nice big floaters and a big blast closeout there for the young Floridian Cory Lopez.
Well, an applause from the Peanut Gallery and out from everyone hanging out on the boardwalk.
I'm sure all the West Coasters in Florida
are loving it along with us right now.
On the Gulf Coast, they are loving that as Cory Lopez opening his account there with a big blast closeout.
Here's Kelly on the other side answering right back.
Well, there you go, Kelly Slater. Big wrap snap off the bottom, off the top. Big closeout re-entry there. And look at the glue foot popping up out of the foam. Very dramatic surfing from Kelly Slater. Playing with the emotions of everyone on the beach and I'm sure up in the judges' tower. How was that re-entry off of this closeout section?
Oh, that was sick. Now, this was the wave right before from Cory Lopez.
Yeah, as you can see here, he's a nice big floater off the top and little airdrop for Cory. And this is the turn I was talking about as he rounds that section and just blasts that closeout section. Cory Lopez, great committed surfing there on the West Coaster.
Yes, indeed, Dino. And the judges taking their time on that score of last of red Cory Lopez as well as last of yellow Kelly Slater. Of course, these are very important scores to come in, which kind of brings us back to an answer to some of your questions. Once again, there are 5 judges that judge every heat, but only the middle 3 scores count for each wave score. They drop the highest score and the lowest score and then take the average of the 3 waves in the middle. So, for example, a 7.5 high wave score for Cory and a 6.0 the low wave, they throw those both out, and his 3 7s make it a 7-point ride. And that last of yellow Kelly Slater, if you're watching the judges' scores, a 7-0 is lowest, an 8-5 is highest. 2 8s and a 7-5 make an average of 7.83. So that's how it works with the scoring. There are 7 judges that travel the world. 5 judge at once. Only the middle 3 wave scores count. And, of course, all that under the tutelage of head judge Mr. Perry Hatchett. So 14 minutes, 45 seconds remaining. Cory Lopez no longer combo, but needing a 9-3-3, Dino. It's a bit of a tall order for Cory, but never count him out. And he is out the back with priority, Cory Lopez.
As you can see, a shot of Kelly Slater making his way back into the lineup, getting a little pelted by that set as the conditions seem to be improving. Earlier we had plenty of rain and the tide was swinging out at a crazy speed, and it looks like the tide has kind of mellowed out, and we could be seeing an incoming push here real soon. What do you think about that, Dave? As we watch the replay of Kelly Slater, big snap off the top, and that was a really critical turn. Tons of speed as he blasts that closeout, and that was really committed surfing. I mean, the lip was already coming down, and he just plowed through that, and as you can see here, he pops out of the foam. And for only 2 maneuvers on that wave, he was rewarded with a 7.83, and it looked like he got his footing on that one and just stomped that closeout turn. Popping out of the foam. It looked like for a second he was going to make it, and he ended up coming out of the whitewater.
Yeah, definitely radical maneuver in the critical part of the wave. They've taken the control out of the... and too bad for Cory Lopez. Nice little backside air there. Yeah, for pretty big score perhaps for 2 moves on one wave, but the judges really considering that Kelly just let loose on that last turn, and that the layback was a functional maneuver on that one. So that definitely accounting for a 7.83. That was a sick turn. Kelly is currently back out the back, apparently has priority. A 107 on that last one of Cory, so that's not helping his scoreline whatsoever. But he knows he's got to go big to bring it back on Kelly. 12.5 minutes remaining. Kelly is out the back, has priority. There's Cory Lopez paddling back out the back, but still not over, is it, Dino?
Not even close. Cory Lopez can do some crazy stuff, and plenty of time remaining, like you said, for more opportunity for Cory to come back in this heat. And as the emails pour in from around the world, plenty of people online watching from all the countries, and we are at the 2006 Billabong Mundaka Pro, and we are at the alternative spot, Bakio, which is around the corner from Mundaka.
All right, and we've been talking about the World Championship race, and we do have our 7-time world champ in the title. In the water currently, so let's go over to a few words, a little interview from earlier on about Kelly Slater, and will he continue along or not if he wins his next world title?
Honestly, I don't know. I'll figure that out when it happens. So, I've thought about it, what am I going to do next year? But, I get... It's kind of when I stepped away from the tour, it allowed me to be fresh on me again. And now, sometimes I feel a little stifled with things. And sometimes I'll be on tour and I'm going to call them, change around, and be like, hey, I'm going to show for it. And I still have that desire to last minute fly to Chile or go to Hawaii or fly to Japan. I was thinking about a couple weeks ago with I just didn't go because I was in between events. I could have made it, but it's just there's so much travel at that time. So I'm kind of starting to really have the urge for that freedom to do whatever I want, whenever I want. Pretty dedicated to the right now. So.
Well, those are great words from the current world champion and current points leader, Kelly Slater, who we see a great shot of him paddling back out into the lineup after a wave that he was rewarded a 1.90. I'm not going to go into his 2 wave total, but nonetheless, he is currently leading this heat against Cory Lopez, a fellow Floridian, needing a tall order, Dave, of a 9.33.
Yeah, well, Kelly started it off with a bang, 8.5, followed it up a couple waves later, the 7.833, so he definitely didn't need to do a whole lot on that last one, 1.9. Right now it's really in Cory's hands. Cory has to really pull a rabbit out of the hat in the last 10 minutes of this heat to give any kind of worry whatsoever to Kelly, and that was an interesting interview with Kelly. Between going for it, I'd read in an interview earlier on in the year that he said if he won his 8th world title, why not try for the Big Ten and take it into double digits? But it's true, you know, the lifestyles of the rich and famous pro surfers like Shane Dorian around the world. Oh, too bad Kelly went down on that one. He could have maybe bettered his 7.83. But now, when you see guys like, you know, Shane Dorian and, you know, Laird Hamilton and kind of some of the uber surfers from around the world just following the wind and the waves around the world, Kelly, you can understand how he might want to go do that for a while, too.
Oh, Cory going for Air 360 there, Dave. As you can see, the conditions are changing once again, and looks like the tide has hit low tide and maybe even started to come in right now. And as you can see, a shot of former world title holder,
3-time world champion and leader of the Kauaian Wolfpack, Andy Irons.
Andy Irons stretching before the heat that will be in the water in about 8 minutes' time, where you'll see the former
world champion up against a current world number 33, Trent Monroe. This is going to be a heavy heat both for Andy and for Trent. Trent, once again, one of those guys just on the wrong side of the 27th position on the WCT qualification bubble, currently sitting in the low 30s, Trent Monroe. So he needs a big result here to hope for possible requalification through the WCT. And, of course, Andy Irons would definitely like to take out this event to continue his hunt for the world title, take it to Brazil, and hopefully all the way to Hawaii, make things a little bit more exciting as we come into the last event of the year. Of course, those of us fans of professional surfing out there much prefer to see the world title be decided at Pipeline rather than on the beaches of Brazil. Not that we have anything against the Brazilian beaches, but Pipe is, of course, one of the best waves in the world, so I'd much prefer to see the world title race come down to the finals at Pipeline.
Well, you got to think that if the title is decided at Pipeline, you know, Andy Irons has to be a favorite. You know, the guy's won, I think, the Pipeline Masters like 3 or 4 times now.
Yeah.
And
3-time Triple Crown winner as well.
Yeah, 3-time Triple Crown winner as well. And you know, 2 years ago, taking the title, you know, right from underneath Kelly Slater in that last event, and you know, Andy Irons is a solid in any conditions anywhere in the world, but at Pipeline he's pretty much the man to beat at the moment.
He is the man, definitely. And even Kelly Slater knows that. Of course, Kelly, you know, has won at Pipeline before. He is the 7-time world champ, but I think Kelly would be much happier to stop the race for his 8th world title either here in Mundaka, Bakio, or in the coming weeks in Brazil, rather than let it go down to and be decided at the Rip Curl Pro Pipeline Masters, where, of course, this year for the first time we'll be looking at 16 wild cards instead of just the usual 3. It's going to be a 64-man contest at Pipe this year, as they've let in the top 16 finishers from the H-Pack event, I believe, at the beginning of the year. But it's going to throw a twist into the title race.
Rightfully so. I mean, you know, I think those are pretty much some of the best pipeline surfers in the world, and you know, they're going to have an opportunity to go against the world's best, and we'll have to wait and see how the year pans out. But that could have a huge effect on the World Tour ratings, especially when those wild cards go against guys like Kelly Slater, Andy Irons. You know, the top 10 guys in the world will be going against, you know, the 10 low seeds coming in, and those will most likely
be the best pipeline surfers in the world. So that would be plenty of action, plenty of surprises. Either way, there will be both of those at the Rip Curl Pro Pipeline Masters at the end of the year. Of course, even more drama and a much more dramatic finish if the world title race is still on at that point. Well, that's Kelly just kind of cruising around the lineup out there. 5 minutes remaining. Red Cory Lopez does have priority, but he's still looking for a 9.33 to go with his 7.0 to take it to our 7-time world champion. This one, once again, a big heat for both these surfers. Cory currently, I believe, sitting 27th just on the requalification cutoff. Kelly, of course, gunning for his 8th world title. Coming up next, Andy Irons, Trent Monroe. And we have our favorite man down on the sand, another boy out of the OC, GT, with a few words from the crowd.
Well, besides the fact that we have a 7-times world champion in the water, no? Well, besides the fact that you have a 7-times world champion in the water and a 3-times world champion about to go out, you can see there's a few thousand people here on the beach in and out of the rain all day. The reason for that, it's St. Pillars Day. So basically, the folks here in the Basque Country and in Spain have the next 2 days off, so it's a big holiday weekend here. So, well, let's just face it that the conditions aren't necessarily, Saint-Tropez, but it's definitely packed here because people want to see the best surfers in the world go to battle. And also, with world title hopes on the line, well, they're all lined up, and it's awesome to see the surf fans here in droves and going off and rooting for every single wave, or cheering, I should say, for our Australian fans for every wave. So, St. Pillars Day, we're going to have a big weekend here, and come on down and join the party.
Thanks for that, GT. There's a party up here in the commentary box as well as we come into the last 3 minutes of this heat between our two Floridian rivals, Mr. Cory Lopez in red, Mr. Kelly Slater in yellow. And yes, everyone out there, this is a barn burner. And a few comments about Kelly's tight shorts. Well, actually, they're not tight shorts. That's called a wetsuit for all you neophytes out there. Kelly is gunning for his 8th world title. Possibly he'll go for 10. Who knows? Possibly he'll just go and do some toe-in surfing with his buddies. But Dino, with 2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining, I think one thing is sure: Kelly Slater will be going on into quarterfinal number 2 of this Billabong Pro here.
Well, here you go. There's Kelly Slater on what could be his final wave of this heat as he rounds the bottom and bangs the oncoming whitewater ball there. And unfortunately for him, coming unstuck, as you see Cory Lopez down the line. Nice big floater maneuver as he opts to kick out the back of that wave. And I did see a message online from his brother, Shea Lopez, who is saying New Smyrna Beach is firing at the moment, and go Cory. Shea Lopez, former WCT surfer, and great guy.
Still a professional surfer, out doing a bunch of photo trips and fishing a lot. That, according to his brother Cory.
Absolutely, and I'm sure that he's going to make another bid to requalify through the QS next year. I think he had one of the most horrific injuries in the history of surfing a few years back at Pipeline, doing a floater on a 10-foot section and landing on the anti-transition, like a half pipe, landing on the uphill part of the transition and just blowing. As you can see, his brother Cory Lopez up and riding on this replay as he hits the bottom of this wave. And this is a nice looking section as he snaps that section there. Kind of a flat hack, but nonetheless throwing a lot of spray as he rocks up over this section. Nice little floater for Cory as he comes around this section, Dave, and big bang closeout. It's unfortunate for Cory that Kelly went on that other bank. Very intuitive surfing from Kelly Slater to find a section out there that no one had surfed prior to this heat, and then all of a sudden he's over there getting barreled within the first minute of the heat.
Well, Kelly, I think, was looking for where the best rights in the lineup would be, and he must have seen a couple come through. Cory wanted to surf front side on the left, and, well, Kelly got the best waves, and did the best moves on the ones he found. So 6-1-7 on that last one. Cory Lopez still needing a 9.33 as we come into the last 5 seconds. So this one is over. And next up, we'll be looking at Andy Irons against Trent Monroe in heat number 5. And a big shout out to everyone on the internet. Thank you very much for